Cianca joining us now. Hopefully not going to have to pause the work for too long. Whenever it rains, that usually puts a damper on the work, too, that needs to be done as well.
Well, yeah, and we have a little bit in the forecast for tomorrow, but nothing that's really all that major that's going to cause any major impacts. Really nothing in the forecast that I'm seeing that's going to cause any major impacts, but maybe some small ones. Live look from Domenico's on the wharf tonight in Monterey, showing that we have a nice view across the harbor there. Nothing obvious on the screen in the form of fog or anything like that. You can see a little ripple on the water, but that's about all that's going on out there tonight. It's a pretty tranquil evening here across the Central Coast. Now, things are going to change a little bit tomorrow. We have actually a pretty similar system to what came through this morning coming through tomorrow morning, which means we might see a little precipitation as a cold front, and it is working its way into Northern California. It looks like some good rain moving through Eureka right now into far northwestern California at this hour. This weather system is heading toward us, the cold front making inroads on us. Now we actually see the leading edge of some low clouds. They'll get here first tonight, and as they get here, we might start to get a little bit of drizzle, maybe around the Monterey Peninsula up to Carmel Highlands and Carmel Valley. Western Santa Cruz County might pick up a little drizzle. Even places like Prunedale and Salinas might get a little drizzle overnight as this arrives. And we'll see that here on Futurecast as well. An increase in low clouds slowly tonight. And then you can kind of see the leading edge of the clouds getting closer as we head toward dawn. So that's 6 a.m. Most of us will wake up to low clouds. A little patchy fog will be possible as well. I don't expect it to be too widespread, however, but ultimately a little bit of drizzle will be possible. Then the actual frontal boundary will get here, and it's fairly weak. We can see it right here. You know, oftentimes we'll show you this map, and when we have a cold front coming through, you'll see big arrows that are very colorful that indicate very gusty winds. And if you look closely, you might see some tiny little very unassuming little arrows, so not going to really have any wind with this frontal boundary. And watch what happens as it gets here. Now, this is just one model solution, and I'll give you a couple other ones here in just a moment, but I want you to watch this first. Notice that it just kind of rolls in around lunchtime tomorrow and then just fades away. Not much left of it. So, yes, this is what I expect to happen. I expect the cold front to arrive on our shores tomorrow and then just kind of wash out. Now, will it arrive and make it a little farther inland so that the little green blobs get to Salinas and Watsonville? It's certainly possible. Will it completely wash out before it reaches our shores and we get nothing? Also possible. But I think ultimately the situation that is most likely is that the cold front gets here, brings us a few light showers around the bay, kind of sits here for an hour or two early afternoon tomorrow, and then just kind of fades out. So places like Salinas, Watsonville, you might get a couple sprinkles tomorrow. Santa Cruz, you might get a wetting shower. Same, and by wetting, I mean the double T, not a D, not a wedding shower. It's not going to ruin your wedding tomorrow. Don't worry about it. If you got a Monday wedding, you're fine. If it showers, it'll be brief, but a wetting shower with a double T is possible along the Highway 9 and 17 corridors and along Highway 1. Late morning, early afternoon tomorrow. Might get a few sprinkles around the peninsula. That's about what we're looking at with this. And then the rest of the day tomorrow, partly cloudy, sunny, and temperatures pretty close to what we had today, which means 60s around the coast and 60s to low 70s inland. So ultimately, we're not going to get a lot of precipitation with this. A couple hundredths of an inch. You'll see on future precip here. It's just showing a couple spits here and there. That's about it. So let's look at that forecast temperature-wise tomorrow. Highway 9 corridor 64 in Ben Lomond. 63 in Scotts Valley. A lot of Scottish names in the Santa Cruz Mountains. Interesting. Santa Cruz 64 tomorrow, low 60s, and I say that because of Scotts Valley. Might not have anything to do with Scotland. Ben Lomond and Bonnie-Doon, very Scottish names though, right? Maybe. 65 in Watsonville tomorrow. Salinas 67 degrees. Same in, I think Victor over here is watching Brigadoon on YouTube. 67 in Hollister tomorrow. No, it has nothing to do with Bonnie-Doon, but you know, Brigadoon, it's a fun little flick. Old musical, right? We've all seen that. 62 in Monterey and Seaside, and then down south we'll see some 60s and maybe a few low 70s showing up on the map. I'm getting scowled at right now. That's what's happening. Bradley, our hotspot again tomorrow, 74 degrees. Here's that 7-day forecast. A couple interesting things to note here. Notice that we are cooler on Tuesday and Wednesday. And the reason for that is tomorrow's onshore flow will be very light. Tuesday and Wednesdays will be much stronger. So I'm expecting gusty northwesterly winds that will move a lot more cold air from the ocean over land, especially on the south and east sides of the bay. So places like Monterey will see highs in the 50s, and Salinas will barely get out of the 50s. Santa Cruz, you'll be more sheltered from that, so you'll be a little bit warmer on the north side of the bay. But all of us will have a slow warming trend toward the weekend. And by this weekend, I'm expecting mostly sunny skies at the moment and seasonable high temperatures. It is possible we may see some low clouds try to push in because look how warm it's going to get inland. Usually when it starts to get hot inland, it starts tugging on that marine layer and cools us off. As we look at that 7-day forecast, a couple things to note here as well. Isolated mountain showers on Tuesday. You didn't see that on the coast. There's a chance of a shower over the southern Diablos, maybe over the Chelam Hills on Tuesday afternoon. Other than that, we are also watching next Sunday. Some models are showing some instability over our mountains. In the meantime, it's going to get hot inland by this weekend, Victor.
Thanks so much, Dan.